The White House isn't the only one deflecting questions. They're also trashing the media.
There are many people out there in the media who sort of try to stir up controversy to get attention or time on camera. The underlying issue that we're talking about here is that as soon as the president's personal team noticed something, they immediately and promptly and transparently disclosed that to the proper authorities.
Beverly Hallberg is the president of District Media Group and joins us now. Beverly, good morning to you. That was Ian Sams, who's speaking on behalf of the White House counsel. What do you think about what he said? Are people in the media stirring up controversy to get attention here?
That's not what it is. You find that the media is actually doing their job, and when they do their job accurately, which is holding people accountable, liberals and especially this White House seem shocked, and they feel that they're being attacked. They'll claim that it's a made-up controversy. They'll claim that it's fake outrage. And first of all, let's remember that the press's main job is to hold people accountable. But I think this underscores what we've talked about so often on this program, and that is that there typically is bias, that liberals are let off the hook. And so when their feet are held to the fire, they really struggle to answer. They dodge if they say anything at all. And then again, they turn it into that this must be an attack against them.
On the Pence document revelations, what do you make of the theory that's being floated out there that these Pence revelations were actually floated to give Joe Biden some cover under this in the mindset of like, look, all VPs do this? What do you make of that?
Yeah, I don't think we know enough at this point in time, but I do think that for many people, the timing of this seems suspicious. It seems like it's a way to take some of the heat off the Biden investigation and what's going on there. I don't really know, but I think I will say on behalf of Americans, I think this is true. I think we're just shocked that it seems that nobody's following the rules. So we either need to change the rules or we need to hold everybody accountable. But I hope that the press still puts pressure on President Biden. I want to find answers about Pence as well. But the reality is this isn't okay. And just because one person does it or we have concerns doesn't mean that somebody else should be let off. So I hope that the president continues to get a lot of pressure from the press on this.
Yeah, well, speaking of wanting answers, Karine Jean Pierre is giving absolutely nothing. Jonathan Turley posted a tweet yesterday saying she refused to even answer if the president had been briefed on the Pence discovery. Why? How is that a legal question? He asks. How do you feel about her performance and the fact that she's just completely stonewalling the media, even on questions that she could answer herself?
Carly, I would like to refer you to the White House counsel on that. I'm not able to answer it all. Yeah. So, look, here's what it comes down to is she's not good at her job. I will be honest with you. Now, there are certain questions where I understand that they don't want to wade into this at all because it doesn't do them any good to do so. But on questions like that, she should have an answer. But again, liberals are not used to being pressed like this, especially from those who ideologically agree with them. And I think this is just further proof that they regularly are not challenged, and when they are, they don't have a good answer for it.
Yikes.
Next time my wife comes at me hard, I'm referring to the White House counsel.
Do you think that she's getting advised not to answer these questions, or that the White House is just not giving her enough information, or it's just literally she doesn't have the answers? I mean, she obviously knows they're coming.
Yeah, I think it's a combination. I think, first of all, that they're just not prepared for this. They're not used to getting these questions other than from Peter Doocy. So the back-to-back questions, it's hard to dodge for that long. But I think that there's another part where they don't have a good answer. They don't want to answer these, and they think it's better just to evade at all costs.
Finally, we need your answer on this. Last week, it was your gas stove. This week, it's your pickup truck. That bear coming for a new Axios headline reading, How Pickup Trucks Became So Imposing. Article going on to say pedestrian and road safety advocates say today's massive trucks are a hazard given their size, weight, and driver blind spots. Are they running out of things to write about, to attack in the name of climate change?
I think they just are finding more things they want to take away from you in the name of climate change because of an agenda. But here is what I found so funny reading this report. They were talking about why people buy trucks. They refer to them as vanity projects. And here are these dreaded words. Here are the reasons why people buy trucks: because they're rugged and powerful. How terrible that somebody would want a vehicle to do that. But when I looked at some of the data, what it came down to is almost 70% of people who own a truck use it for hauling, either often or frequently. So they want to make this being about a vanity project, but guess what? Sometimes we cart our kids around, sometimes we haul something, sometimes we take it out and we go four-wheeling. There are multiple reasons why people have a truck, and Americans should be allowed to do so. And we're forgetting the farmers. There are plenty of people who need trucks to do their job on a daily basis.
Welcome to America, Axios.
They're coming after the bald eagle next. You watch.
Thank you, Beverly. We appreciate you.
Thank you. Have a good